Hello everyone, the time is 10:39 a.m. on a Monday. I have a lot of exciting things planned today, and I would say the most exciting is that I'm almost done with the current version of Kozy. Really, I think when I finish all the 4 things I need to code today, I basically should be ready. I've refactored the brain of Kozy and changed the way it works behind the scene for the last few weeks, and part of the advantage that I gained from doing that is that Kozy is now almost 4 times cheaper than it used to be. So today I'm going to be working on updating that pricing on the back end to make sure that the users are charged the new prices. And I'm also going to update the landing page to show the new prices. Let's get coding. Pricing update. So for reference, this is what the old pricing used to get you. So $19 a month will get you 40 edit minutes. And you could see here what the 40 edit minutes would get you. That's 20 2-minute videos, 10 4-minute videos, and then 2 20-minute videos. And then $49 got you 140 edit minutes, and $99 got you 400 edit minutes. I'm so excited to make it way cheaper. I think the other one was not too bad, but I think this is just way better. And I think it allows people to be able to experiment more, try multiple edits, and not feel like they have to get it perfect. So a few changes. $19 now gets you 120 edit minutes instead of 40 edit minutes. $49 now gets you 400 minutes. And $99 now gets you 1,000 minutes. And one crazy thing about this update is that by giving them more minutes, I haven't actually made it a worse quality on the back end. I've actually made it better, and making it better actually allowed me to make it cheaper. So that's great. Another thing I've done is I've increased the free trials from 3 days to 14 days. I think 3 days was not enough, and it led to more cancellations, because think about it. If you sign up to a subscription and it only gives you 3-day free trial, if after 10 minutes it's not working, you just think, I'm going to cancel this right away. As opposed to 14 days, you might give it more chance because you feel like you have more days for you to play around with it before it charges you. So I think this is going to be actually a huge improvement on that front. I also, while working on this, I found a crazy bug. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way, this is a bug. And I tested that out in production, and it's actually a thing. So if I go to the Stripe webhook file, in the past, what I used to do is when I get the customer.subscription updated webhook, I would just call the function subscription cancelled, which basically sends them an email right away saying, hey, why did you cancel your subscription? I don't know why I made that mistake, because the problem is customer.subscription.update does not only send when subscription is cancelled, it also sends when subscription is created. So what that means is that in production right now, when someone actually signs up to a subscription, they get an email from me saying, hey, why did you cancel your subscription? Which is just a completely crazy bug. But anyways, I fixed that now. So you can see when I get that webhook, I call this function, and then this function basically checks the status of the subscription. And if it's cancelled, then I send the email. So yeah, that is an insane bug. My next task for the day is, last week while I was editing my vlog with Kozy, I noticed that it did not give me all the clips in order in which they were recorded. So this could be one of 2 reasons. Either I'm not passing the date that the clips were recorded properly to the AI, which means that it has no clue when everything was filmed, so it just puts it in order in which that I think it's correct. Or I am passing the correct date, but the AI is just not taking it into consideration. Yeah, I'm not sure how long this is going to take me, because it could be a quick fix depending on which one of those 2 problems it is. But I'm just going to get into it and see what I can find. Okay, I found the problem, and I'm actually super happy with my solution. But essentially the problem is, if you record a video on your camera, then the video has a metadata that tells you when the video was captured or recorded. And that's what I basically use right now to sort the files before handing it to the AI. But the problem with this is that if you record something on your screen, for example, and then you export it. So for example, I'm using Screen Studio to record my screen. When I export it, the capture date is not the date that the recording happened. It's actually the date that it was exported. So the reason in my last vlog, the ordering got messed up is because I exported it when I was ready to edit my video, as opposed to when I actually just filmed it. So yeah, so essentially you can't just trust the export date at all times. So the solution I have is, for example, if I select all the clips that I used in my last vlog, so it's just 6 clips, by default, it initially sorts it by the capture date. So you can see this is the problem, because this, for example, is meant to be the first video that is shown in my vlog, but it's being shown second to last. And that's because these are screen recordings and this is a video recording which has the correct capture date. So the feature I've added is I've now added this ordering that allows the user to basically change the order. So for example, I can drag this to the top. This is meant to be here, and I think it's finish timeline first, React snippet, then the outro at the end. Yeah, so this is exactly how it's meant to be. And this is great because, yeah, and in most cases, if the user is recording it on a camera and just importing it here directly, it should work fine. But if they've basically messed with the capture dates, then they should be able to reorganize it here. And then when they tap edit, it uses this order when it's sending it to the AI on the back end to actually edit. And if you want to see what the code looks like, I am using React DND, and that's just React drag and drop. And essentially, when a file is added, I sort the file. I sort the previous file and the new file, because all the files are added one after each other, because I have to pull some data about them. So it's an async file. So I first sort it. This is what gives it the first sorting. I'm sorting it by the capture date. If I go into sort files, you can see I'm sorting it by capture date if it exists, or I'm sorting it by the name if it doesn't exist. So that's the first thing I do. And then now when the user basically drags the files around, I'm using React DND to basically replace the dragged file. I'm going to quickly have lunch, go to the gym, and then I'll continue with the rest of the task. The time is around 4 p.m. and I have 2 hours 30 minutes left before I have to head to my Spanish class. And that leaves me enough time to complete my remaining 2 tasks. For the next task, I'm going to be working on improving the landing page. I've added this new feature that I now need to add to the landing page because I think it's going to be really, really important in converting users. So you can now export Kozy projects to CapCut, Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, which is basically all the video editors I am aware of. And this is a really, really awesome feature because in the past you had to do all your editing in Kozy, but some people have preferences to use other editors, or some editors have powerful features that Kozy doesn't have right now. So essentially doing this means that you can use Kozy as the starting point to get all the cuts together. And then once you just tap export, I would name this example export, for example. And now if I open CapCut, because that's what I've chosen in this case, you see the example export is there. And if I tap here, you see that has been exported to CapCut and all the cuts are here, so I can continue editing it here. So as you can see, this is super important and a really awesome feature, I think. So I need to make sure I show it on the landing page. Right now, the landing page looks like this. I have a hero. I have how it works section. I have the comparison with Kozy to professional editors. I have that you can use it to make videos for all platforms, and then some testimonials, which are just basically tweets that people made when I launched Kozy on Twitter. So I need to somehow find a place to put that new feature here, a design for it. And yeah, I haven't designed anything, so I'm going to have to do everything at the same time. My website is heavily inspired by Chatbase. You can see right away the similarities. I believe in the early days, you should try as much as you can to copy things that can be copied. For example, landing pages, like email templates and so on from people that you feel inspired by. And I definitely love this chat-based website. So I'm probably going to find the inspiration for the new section here. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to get to that right now. Wow, that took a lot longer than expected. I didn't factor in that I would have to also change other videos on the landing page because the whole UI of the application has changed since the last update I pushed. But anyways, let me just show you the finished product. Though this is what the old landing page looks like. As you can see, it has the old UI. There was only 2 options here on how it works. So the first one was like give Kozy a raw video. Kozy will edit the video like a professional editor in seconds. And in this old site, I was using short form videos as the examples, but in working more on Kozy and using it myself, I'm starting to realize that yes, it's really good at making short form video, but I think it really shines with long form video because the edit time is usually a lot longer with long form video. So when you use Kozy for that, you save a lot more time basically. So yeah, this is the old landing page. And now this is the new landing page. As you can see already, I guess it's my face there. I'm probably going to change that later on because I actually prefer to use other people than myself on my landing page. But this is what I have so far. It's using the new UI from the application. It's focusing on long form. And if I scroll down, you see now in the how it works section, there are now 3 different steps. So the first step is same as before, except now I'm showing selecting multiple videos. Again, this is because I'm trying to like focus more on like vlogs, long form videos, because I think that's where Kozy saves the most time. The second step is still the same as before, except I've just changed it to show the new UI. And this is the new step that I've added to take into consideration that Kozy now allows you to export to CapCut, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, and more. So as you can see, I zoom in here and I try to like hold this as long as possible. By the way, if you're curious how I edit all these zoom in videos, I'm using something called Screen Studio. I actually paid for them a while ago, but they're not too expensive considering how much I use them. But essentially it's really cool because you can use it to edit your screen, and then you can just add these blocks right here that basically control when it should zoom in and when it shouldn't. And it also allows me to add these really cool backgrounds to the video. I would highly recommend it if you're making your own landing page. But yeah, this is basically the update. It's not like crazy different from before, but I think it's a lot better, and I've made small changes that I think will convert more people to actually downloading Kozy and paying for it. And yeah, that's all the coding task I'm going to do for today. I was meant to also edit a short form video today, but I do not think I have time for that because I have to get ready for my Spanish class now and start heading there. But I think that's a good day. Hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you're productive, and see you in the next video.